Intimate Partner Violence by Caitlin Atwood. Intimate partner violence is defined as an assault on a person with whom the attacker is intimately involved. Intimate partner violence has been recorded as a normal part of marriage in history and only recently was introduced to the justice system. It can include a physical attack, stalking, psychological abuse, control of finance or resources, property damage, and threats against children. Dr. Edna Arez recently defined intimate partner violence as threatening or injurious physical, psychological, sexual, verbal, or economic behavior, whether the behavior occur within a current or terminated relationship. Many offenses include men being the attacker. However, sometimes women are the aggressor, or the issue occurs between siblings, in-laws, roommates, and or parents. The history of intimate partner violence. Early law show women as being the property of man. This includes the ancient common law, which gave husbands the right to chastise their wives, and back to medieval canon law, ruling women could be muzzled in order to publicly shame them for their disobedience, and sometimes these muzzles held spikes to depress tongues. Intimate partner violence was continued in the United States with cases such as in an 1824 ruling that a husband could continue to chastise his wife. In 1871, Fulgham versus the state of Alabama, courts ruled violence against a woman to a certain extent was still acceptable under the law. In 1864, State versus Jesse Black, a husband was still able to discipline a wife in certain circumstances. In 1874, State versus Richard Oliver, courts continued their ruling to show that a man could abuse his wife in certain instances. Women's rights started changing in the 1900s. In 1948, a women's rights convention in Seneca Falls objected to the current issues in women's rights, which later started to push towards reform. Awareness is what propelled change in the United States. In 1970, public awareness increased. Victim advocates and women's rights groups started increasing. Police started responding to the publicity surrounding intimate partner violence. Shelters started to open in the 1970s, and treatment for offenders started to surface. Domestic violence was known to be a health risk to women by 1988. In 1990s, many programs formed to address the ongoing issues surrounding intimate partner violence. The 1994 Violence Against Women Act, which has since been readdressed, includes standards on how we treat women, which tend to be according to how society has changed. The CDC has defined the different forms of abuse encompassed within intimate partner violence. Physical violence can include small and or large acts of violence. Hitting, kicking, and using a weapon fall into this category. Sexual violence can involve rape, unwanted sexual contact, and verbal harassment. Psychological aggression includes control and potentially harmful behaviors. Stalking can involve harassment and include threatening tactics. The CDC has also started defining the consequences of intimate partner violence. There is a reported cost of $8.3 billion due to intimate partner violence in the United States annually. The cost worldwide is reported at $4.4 trillion. Consequences include more than just financial offsets. Additionally, there are reported 486,000 visits to the ER by victims of rape or physical assault in the United States annually. There are many health conditions that are associated with intimate partner violence, ranging from gastrointestinal issues to nervous system disorders. There can be many consequences to reproductive health, including gynecological disorders and pregnancy complications. Psychological conditions can be broken down into many disorders that can be current or delayed responses to the abuse. anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as daily struggles with many other potential psychological conditions are reported. Women often resort to substance abuse and are more likely to make unhealthy choices. High-risk sexual behavior, substance abuse, and an unhealthy diet are included within potential unhealthy behaviors. Law enforcement has responded in multiple ways. Police are now trained on intimate partner violence, having steps to increase the likelihood of a positive outcome within the intimate partner violence calls. These calls can be high risk to both the victim and the officer responding. Evidence is collected and risk assessments are created by many departments in the United States today. Departments now have mandatory arrest laws to include arrest when there is evidence of an assault. When multiple partner violence occurs, dual arrests are included, ensuring both parties are held liable for their actions. More recent changes have occurred. In 2013, the Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act, VAWA, has increased resources and awareness to issues surrounding domestic violence, expanding the parameters in which one can be punished for violence within the household. Increased studies and awareness have led to these changes today. If you or someone you know is experiencing intimate partner violence, please let them know how or reach out yourself and get help. Please call 800-799-SAFE, 800-799-7233.